Hello everyone, this is Javamonk, and welcome to episode 7 of the Adventure Map Construction Series. Today, we are going to connect the Earth to the Moon and the Moon to Mars using rockets. Now, I have alluded to this before, where I've basically been just putting off the effort to build the rockets to connect these different places, and now we will put them off no longer. Now is the time that we finally build those rockets. So first off, these rockets are supposed to be silent and also land randomly and also extremely fast. So there's really no point in having the zero gravity. Instead, I'll simply have a few different rocket stations to basically eventually teleport the player through space, and then eventually teleport them over here, where they will land smack in the middle of this arena, like right around here somewhere. So this here is the design of the rocket that brings you from the Earth to the Moon. Yes, it has windows. I will block them off when the rocket is traveling through outer space. So when you're inside the rocket, this is what it looks like. It's got sea lanterns in the ceiling because I like the futuristic look to it. And you have the glass windows where you can see outside it. Also, this door here will actually open up. So there you go. Also, in case you're wondering, no, it is impossible for you to jump up to the top of the rocket, unless you do it from above, like this. So, at this point, it's possible to jump on top of the rocket, but why would you want to? You can't jump up to it from the bottom, which also means that the Moon Quest Maker can't accidentally jump up to the rocket. So, that's good. I'm just going to copy this design over and over in a few different places, and this way, and through one of the windows, I think I'm going to use maps, or use maps to indicate space, and then use just regular blocks that slowly increase in number to simulate coming closer and closer to the moon. Okay, I have the rockets actually put in place where they would be physically in the world leading up to the moon there. Now, in each of these places, the entrance is sealed off, and the only other time that it's not sealed off is here. So here's the hallway that leads out of the Quest Maker's office from here. So then this hallway opens up. You then walk over here and open these doors. Now, you can't push the launch button while you're standing in here, and once you get in here, you can't get out. So this basically traps the player in here. Now, over here, we have a little fueling station here. Over here, we have just stone. Over here, we have clay. And we have the launch button. Now, what that launch button does is it sets a redstone block right here, at which point a little bit of dialogue will start happening. So this will happen because of a command block called Mission Control. The player will have no control whatsoever over what Mission Control says. So I guess Mission Control could start off by saying, oh good, at P is here. And this at P here will specify the player. Now here's the trick. I want to make it seem somewhat seamless of a transition between the different rocket stages over here, of which there are 4 of them. Technically 5. So what I want is for the player, no matter where they are teleported to the same location on the inside of whatever rocket stage they happen to be at. For example, if they're at the location of this redstone block, which in this case is 102.6-44, and they are in this corner right here, then I want them to teleport to this corner right here in the first stage. Now, let's see. We just gotta do some math, and hopefully this works. Okay, this command should help. It's basically gonna teleport every iron golem to this position relative to where they are. At least, I think that's how that works. I know the /teleport command would actually teleport them relative to the command block itself, but I want them to teleport based on their relative position. So let's place an iron golem in the corner over here. Okay, so, oopsie. There we go. Okay, let's try this again, this time without suffocating the iron golem. There we go, and shove him in the corner. Now, will he appear in that corner in the other rocket when I activate that? Let's see. Well, he's not there anymore. He's over here. Why is he over here? Did I get my pluses and minuses wrong? Okay. Let's see here. And teleport. So looks like even /TP also teleports based on relative to the command block itself. So how do you teleport relative to the entity? Hey, I didn't know chickens could fly. Okay, I have successfully managed to teleport the iron golem, and it is complicated. So I'm going to push this iron golem in the corner, and it's going to appear in that same corner in this rocket over there. The way I did it was using the /execute command. So now if you see, there's the iron golem in the corner right there. So, and it is no longer in this corner. So the way I did this was the /execute command. So first off, it goes execute the command at the position of the iron golem, run the teleport the iron golem to its relative coordinates. So if I do that again, it'll teleport over there. And if I do that again, it'll teleport over there. So now all I gotta do is change the arguments of @e type equals iron golem to the player. Oops. Just like this. And now it should work for the player as well. And then I can add in all of the other stages of the rocket. Okay, the first rocket to the moon is ready to be tested. I have a backup of the world so I don't accidentally destroy anything. And now, all we gotta do is just hop inside here. Well, really just start in the hallway here. And let's go into adventure mode. And now let's just walk in and push the ready button. So, oh good, Javamonk is here. Don't panic from the sounds. Dialogue display has been disabled. So now, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This, by the way, disappears. A little subtle. So, there's a little bit of dialogue going on here, and as you can see, no matter where I go, I am being teleported to whatever the location is supposed to be for the next rocket stage. And the dialogue displays are still disabled. So, here we go. We've never seen the rocket. Dock shower will have to end. And it says that the player is now in my care. Next weekend, so then the Moon Quest Maker whispers to you, goes, wasn't prepared for this, looks like mission control disabled the dialogue displays, and she just re-enabled them. So, that just opens the door, and now you can enter. Now you can walk in, stroll around, you can go into the Questmaker's office, you could explore the hotel, the many Easter eggs that lie within. So, okay, this actually worked better than I expected. Okay, I just laid out a large area of black concrete with white concrete scattered all over the place. And if I move away from this place, like say I decided to teleport myself 100 blocks in that way, in that direction. Okay, a little further. And how about a little further? There we go. Nope, still gotta go further. Okay. Now, with just this map, it kind of looks like stars. So now, what I want to do is teleport back to the main place. And I want to put this as in place of item frames. So there's the star map over there. Hopefully the player data over here on the corner of the map here doesn't leak into the item frame. So let's see. If I get an item frame like this, and then I want to backlight this item frame, the map wall, I guess. So let's see. If we do that, and then climb inside the rocket and briefly knock out the windows. So let's see. You can place item frames on all of these surfaces. So if I just do that, and then cover that up with glass, that looks really, really cool. Looks like you're just seeing out into the emptiness of space. That is awesome. Okay, for this first rocket stage, that's what I'm gonna do. For each of these, for all of the windows, all you see if you look out the window is the emptiness of space. And then we can start adding blocks in there, specifically endstone, to make it look like you're coming closer to the moon. I'm so happy item frames are placeable on the ceiling and floor now. Okay, here's the first stage of the rocket. We have two of the windows covered in stars, but this window over here, which is in line with the actual moon over here, all it has is a birch button. And that is basically the small moon that this rocket is very rapidly going to approach. Okay, the first rocket module now has a mini Earth over there. Also, all of these... Why is it flickering dark like that? That is weird. Anyways, all of these maps are named space because it's a space map. So you can see the Earth way over there. All of these are star maps here. So then over here we have a hello. There we go. Over here we have a small moon. That's no moon. Yes, it is, actually. It is a moon. So then over here we have more stars, and this time the birch button is a little bit closer. So it's like the moon just got a little bit closer. And then in this next part here, the moon is actually a full block, and it's extremely close now. But still got the star maps over here. And then the next spot it teleports to is directly inside the arena, where at this point, there's no need to pretend anymore. The windows are perfectly alright. You can see the fact that you're inside the moon arena. However, you likely won't be able to see the moon questmaker, because he's around here somewhere, but he seemed to have disappeared. This here is the rocket that goes to Mars, and once again, you are not able to climb on top of this here, so even if you tried, you cannot gain access to this balcony over here, or this balcony up here. So, that is the Mars rocket. So, as for the inside, I have orange stained glass windows, and I think, I think for the stairs as kind of chairs here, I think I should use acacia stairs here, just like this. As for lighting this place up, I have jack-o'-lanterns, and I'm gonna make an excuse that the Moon Questmaker specifically designed this rocket so that it would match the Martian atmosphere. So we now have the rockets in place to go to Mars, all decorated and ready, complete with the star maps. So we have the launch button, and the windows here are just blocked with redstone blocks. But then this first stage, you have a little bit of the moon, and also the stars. Here you have still the endstone block, but farther away. Over here, we have the moon at the same distance, except it's a birch button now. And then over here, we have nothing at all, just stars. And then over here on this side, we have Mars appearing as a acacia button. And then over here, we have Mars once again, but as a netherrack block instead. And then over here, with the netherrack block really close, just before landing, smack in the middle of the Mars Questmaker arena. So, once the player lands, this door will open up, and they can wander out into the arena, look around at the building over here, look around at the dome out of orange stained glass that took me 3 hours to build. And then later on, this door here will open up, allowing the player in. And finally, after all of the rockets you travel through, after all the puzzles you go through, after all of the mayhem and magic and just general stuff that happens in this adventure map, we need a conclusion to this. So let's build up that conclusion right now. In fact, let's give it its own little spot over here. Now, the conclusion to the map, I want the very end of it to have the screen darken and the map maker comes on and says, well, you've just defeated the map, and then switches you into creative mode, teleports you right to this main spot over here, gives you the book of teleportation, and then goes, here, now you can take a look at how this map was made and take care of Plank the dog. So I want that to be the actual ending to this map. But before that, and after the final boss fight, and before the map maker comes on and says, congratulations, you've defeated the map, I want something else to happen. And this something else is, I'm going to be kind of taking a leaf out of M. Night Shyamalan's book, and just completely twisting the premise of the map on its head. So the ending of the map. It will happen in this room over here, where all 3 Questmaker's offices are in here. Also, over here, there will be a call of the Killer Bunny right here. Now, this was created using this command right here, gathered from MC Stacker, which led me to this website called minecraftheads.com, which then I searched through and found a head for the Killer Bunny, which I then copy-pasted the give command into the MC Stacker site, which then gave me the command needed to give me this head here. A very long and really complicated process, but now we have the Killer Bunny head right here. So that is the head of the Killer Bunny, and in fact, it's gonna be kind of a Chekhov's gun, because this skull is actually mentioned a couple times, that it's now a statue of the Killer Bunny. So here is what's going to happen once the player reaches this room right here. Once again, taking a book out of M. Night Shyamalan's book. So here we go. We're going to do a super insane plot twist here, where suddenly this Earth Questmaker is actually the evil mastermind behind the entire map. So, if you thought the fight against the Killer Bunny was difficult, wait until you see this. So, we have all of this dialogue happening between the Earth Questmaker and the other Questmakers, all basically trying to figure out what in the world is going on and why the Earth Questmaker suddenly decided to go rogue. So once he does, he'll suddenly turn from a villager into a zombie villager. And this zombie villager will still be named Earth Questmaker. Now here is where things get interesting. The Earth Questmaker is going to say, player, give me your armor and weapons, and then we'll proceed to steal them. Now, I do not know of a command where I can get a zombie to directly go over and steal the weapons and armor directly off the player. So, we're gonna have to do something interesting using a whole bunch of execute commands. Well, this is weird. So, I've been attempting to spawn a zombie villager where the Earth Questmaker is supposed to be. And watch this. I powered this command block. And if I fly over here, it's supposed to be right here in this cell. It's not there. In fact, it's not here at all. Now, watch this. If I remove all these coordinates and instead just put in tildes, then here's the Earth Questmaker. Or at least the zombie villager version of him. Yeah. Isn't that weird? And also incredibly annoying. I'm not sure why that's happening. Okay, I'm thinking it's a rendering issue where the command block won't actually place a zombie villager if it's too far away, where it possibly could despawn, even though I told it not to despawn. So if I use that... Oh. That's weird. So I use the command to place a redstone block right here, which would spawn the zombie villager. Right here. But it doesn't. That is so weird. The strangeness has just gone even stranger. So I'm able... Oh. Is it because I got my pluses and minuses wrong? I must have got my pluses and minuses wrong. And that's why the command isn't... Yeah. Yeah, that would explain why the command isn't generating the zombie villager where it's supposed to be. Yep. There could not be enough face palms to cover what just happened here. Here you go. Me getting my pluses and minuses wrong. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take kind of a cheap approach to the problem of directly stealing the player's armor and weapons, because turns out you can't actually completely do that with command blocks. Not in any spectacular or compact way. So I have 4 command blocks here to remove the player's chest, all the armor, every single bit of it, even if it's in the inventory. And also I'm going to add on 2 more actually 3 more, to steal the player's sword, bow, and trident, if they happen to have gotten that. Okay, I'm also going to take a cheap way out of actually giving the item to the zombie villager, who is going to show up as the Earth Questmaker. So this zombie villager is specifically programmed to be able to pick up armor and other items. So what I can do is basically summon an item with the maxed out diamond helmet. Even if the player did not purchase a diamond helmet when they were going into the boss fight, the zombie villager can still access it. I can of course cut off access, so make it only... Well, that would just make things complicated, because then I'd have to keep track of what the player put on, or equipped, or gained access to throughout the entire map, and that's something that I don't think I want to do. So I'm just going to give this zombie villager the maxed out armor that is possible to get, that the player can possibly get. So I'm basically executing at the entity zombie villager, summon an item with the diamond helmet. Now let's see if this can actually work. If I take a zombie villager here, there it is. Take the zombie villager, who's of course going to attack the normal villager here. Now, what would happen? Okay, this chain of command blocks is going to cause problems, so I'm just going to place this command block over here. What would happen if I do that? Okay. Let's see. So what happened to the helmet / chest plate here? Okay. It doesn't seem to have done anything at all. Okay, I briefly set the time to night, so let's test and see if this works. I'm gonna summon the Earth Quest Maker zombie villager, and now let's give him the helmet. Oh, it works. All right. And now if I just set the time to day, then he's not gonna burn. But for some reason there's a double comparator signal here. Is there another zombie villager around here somewhere? Hold on. Execute as @e type equals zombie villager, because this is how you do test 4 now. Run say hi. Huh. There's another zombie villager Earth Quest Maker running around here somewhere. That's not good. Okay, this quest maker's okay. This quest maker's okay. That quest maker's okay. Who got turned into a zombie villager? Ah, here he is. Okay, this one must have escaped somehow. Here we go. Problem solved. And now he has 2 helmets. Anyways, this works, so now we can get on with giving this Earth Quest Maker zombie villager all the armor that the player could have gotten, even if the player didn't actually get it. It's the player's loss if that's the case. Okay, here's something weird. So I have a whole stack of command blocks which are basically gonna summon items right on top of this Earth Quest Maker, who will equip it. So if I just power that set of command blocks, then nothing happens. But if I take this command and put it into the chat, all of a sudden he can equip it. So looks like we got a bit of an issue here. Either it's a problem of command blocks not able to summon items, or at least not summon them properly where they're supposed to be, or it's an issue. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's. Well, it's an issue of me not putting in the commands properly. Okay, even more weirdness here. So I changed all of the execute at to execute as. So let's see. If we summon the Earth Quest Maker here and power this whole stack of command blocks, nothing happens. Once again, no matter what happens, nothing happens. Now if I actually, let's see, if we execute as, then it gives me a diamond helmet. But the fact that it didn't do that with these command blocks makes no sense whatsoever, actually. So, after the Earth Quest Maker zombie villager is killed by the player, then this system activates, which places a redstone block over here. Then Moon Quest Maker goes, anyone else going to transform? And nobody does, unless that statue comes to life. That's the rabbit skull inside the building there. And then we have want to see the drafted constitution and just a little bit of dialogue here and there. The dialogue displayer kind of deactivates at this point, and the player is given blindness. At this point, I now want 2 characters to be talking. So the first character will be the map maker, and then the The other person would be a random person pretending to be a narrator. I'm pretty sure that's not going to fit. Random person pretending to be a... Nope, it doesn't fit. And that also means it's not going to fit on the name tag. So that means we're going to have to summon specifically a mob at which we can bounce a execute command off of. Okay, I just summoned that armor stand right there with the name random person pretending to be a narrator. So now what I want to test is, can you actually bounce an execute command off of that armor stand? Let's see. Execute as at e type equals armor stand, and then run say hi. So what I'm hoping would happen is that it would look as if that that random person pretending to be a narrator is saying hi, and that is the case. All right. So this armor stand can just stay here perpetually. It's really not doing any harm, and there's really no point in its existence other than the final bit. So I could summon that armor stand, but there's no point. But armor stands don't cause any lag whatsoever, because they're just stationary, and they do really nothing. So it's a perfect thing to bounce a execute as command off of. This is so strange, and it is causing the moon to be really, really laggy. So looking this way, it's fine. So up here you have entity number, and it's right now in the hundreds, which is not exactly all that great. I threw a few damage bombs at these sheep to try to remove some of them, and it sort of helped, but the weirdest part here is that the number of entities goes absolutely through the roof. So if I go over here, now it's at 0. I look over here, it's in the 600s. So if I look over here, it's in the 100s, but then it very quickly goes away once I move over here. So all those remaining entities are somewhere in here, which I did already remove quite a few sheep. There's maybe like 20 in both of these rooms altogether. So that could not possibly be counting up towards the hundreds of entities here. If I look this way, we have a lot of entities, but the spider spawners are currently not active. And also, I'm thinking it might actually be the moon cats that are causing some of the problems. So, there we go. Okay, I think that is weird. There's still 180 entities off this direction somewhere, but it immediately goes away as soon as I try to fly towards it. So, somewhere around here, there are 300 entities, or 600 entities, that are just absolutely destroying the frame rates here. See over here, it's okay. Now in the 500s of entities, and it's not up here, and it's not up here in the underwater bouncy castle. So it's also not on Mars, and it appears to be off in this direction here. Maybe the rockets are causing problems? You know what it might be? Might be all those item frames with maps. But why would they cause so much lag? So it's not the trivia maze, and if I look down here, then it rapidly decreases to the point where it's negligible. So it might just be the rockets that are causing all those problems of lag, which really sucks. Aha! It is the item frames. So if I stand right in this rocket and say execute, give me an acacia fence gate, that's just this random thing, from every item frame within a distance of, let's go, 10 blocks. Look at this. There's a stack and 8 item frames just around in this rocket here. Yeah, and I'm guessing it's rooms like this that are causing so many issues. So we're just gonna have to shrink these rooms down a little bit, because I really like the map effect here. But it looks like it's not exactly all that sustainable. So we're gonna have to remove some of these maps here, because they are causing some serious issues of lag. Okay, I quite dramatically decreased the amount of item frames, so now there's only 450 item frames in both the Mars and Moon rockets. But 450 item frames is still way too many. And if we go down to the Moon here, looking off in this way still stutters and is basically unplayable. So here's what I'm gonna do. So first off, I'm blaming that entirely on all that lag on these maps here. I'm blaming all of that lag on these maps here because there are a lot. If I just stand inside this rocket here, whoops, that's all of the item frames in the entire area. Let's shrink that range down to just this rocket. Okay. Let's try distance 10. There we go. 51 item frames just in this rocket. And most of them are in here. In this area here to show the fact that the moon just is basically shrinking. But really this effect is kind of unnecessary. So I'm thinking for things like this where I have the buttons to represent the different planets getting further and further away, I'm just going to completely remove the extended rooms here and instead make it like the basic rooms, basic windows over here, which just has, let's say that's 4, that's 6, which only has 8 item frames in it. So I'm going to decrease the amount of item frames in this part here, so that way there's only 8 maps here to render. And hopefully that will help. Now that is much better. Okay, only 200 entities as I look this way. 300 if I walk away too far. But that is far, far better than 500 entities. And my FPS is even better. So this Moon Hotel is now playable again. And if I look off this way, then not very many entities. In fact, I think from this angle here, because the Mars rockets have the most number of item frames in general, that's 250 item frames. And over here, we have 300 item frames. Let's actually see just how many item frames there are. And there is 5 stacks and 50. That is much better than before. And I think that's enough. I think that's doable for what's going on here. And this place is now playable again. Finally. Okay. I screwed up. Really, really badly. So, I was in the end trying to get the mob detection system to work, and what I did was I did /execute in the end, and then detect the different entities using the play sound command. And turns out it was detecting 685 entities. And I'm like, that's weird. Why is it detecting so many entities? Kill every entity in the end, which I did using execute in the end, run, kill all entities. And turns out I also killed every entity in the spawn chunks. So, Plank, I accidentally killed him, but I revived him. I accidentally killed Elrond the Flies, the phantom friend who you're going to meet after when you finish the entire adventure map. I killed all of the Earth Quest makers accidentally. I destroyed every single item frame in all of these rockets. And I also killed every single entity on the moon here, including the Johnny Vindicator over here, so I had to revive him. I also killed every sheep in the space B&B. And yeah, just in general, all kinds of damage was done. And looks like all the fish here despawned. So Yeah, it was a big mess. But thankfully, Mars, and as far as I know, underground Mars, has not been affected at all. And the end doesn't have any mobs when you spawn in, so that's just fine. It wasn't even touched. And this room was also completely wrecked. And this room miraculously, this Earthquest Maker stayed alive. So yeah, it did all kinds of damage, but a good thing came out of that because I then went through all of these rockets and changed out the decorations for outer space. So now, in total, all of the item frames and all of these rockets, let's just load them all in here by flying up here. Come on, rockets, please load in. Any minute now. There we go. Okay, all the rockets have loaded in, so now let's run this command here. And 5 stacks of item frames. That's it. Far less than I had before. So, altogether, it's not bad. And over here, if I look off in this direction, I see only 300 entities. 350. So, not a big deal. It's not that laggy either. So, altogether, a giant catastrophe turned out quite well. So, anyways, I think I'm going to end this episode here. We built up the ending of the adventure map over here. We put in all of these rockets to go in between the moon and also Mars. And each of these rockets have various decorations to describe the fact that you're in outer space, such as these star maps and also occasionally birch buttons and endstone to describe where the moon and Mars are. And we also did a few lag improvements to make sure that this map is actually playable. So, anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please let me know. Next episode, we're going to do another thing that's general around the entire adventure map. We're going to put in all of the advancements. There are a lot of advancements I want to add. Things like, congratulations, you made it through the trivia maze. Congratulations, you went through the entire Earth maze without dying. Congratulations, you're on the moon now. Things like that. But anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you next episode for the challenge advancements.